Hello everyone, in the previous video we add the timeline slicer into our Excel file. We do this by adding a new column as a date in our main table, and after that we able to add the timeline slicer in our pivot table. So in this video I want to talk about the calculated fields in the Excel. A calculated field enables us to add a new field into our pivot table without having that field in our main table. And this new field will be generated based on some calculation from a field in the main table. So let's see an example. For example, in the previous video that we generated the new column in the date, we used some function as a date here. And right now we want to have this such field, but we do not want to add this new field into our table because I just, for example, want to have a raw data in my table and I do not want to have any calculation in my main table. So what I can do, I can go to my pivot table, which I want to have a date field in that, go to the Analyze tab and press the field item and sets. After that, choose the calculated field. In this field, in this box, you are able to add a new field based on the previous field that already is existing in the my main table. For example, I want to have date field. I name it as a date 2 because right now I have a date. I did not remove that field. So now I wanna use a date function as a date here. You have to remember that if you type the date function here, Excel will not help you on the typo. So you have to be careful to have not any typo error here. So that's why I copied the date function in my Excel. So and paste it here. So I paste the date function. I want to use this date as a field year in the first argument, month as a second argument, and the day as a third argument. So by using this way, I saying to the pivot table that use these three fields from my main table and do some calculation based on this table on the data on this field and add this new field into my table. So I can add this now. If you press OK button and then go to the field here, you can see the date 2 is placed into my pivot table and also check it and add it into my pivot table. I do not want to be added in my pivot table. I uncheck that. So now I have the date field and the date 2 field the same as each other. But there is some limitation of the calculated fields. For example, right now I want to have such a timeline slicer from the date 2, not date 1. So I have to go and insert the timeline. As you can see, there is just one field here that I can choose, and that is the date field. So I do not see the date 2. And also, if you, for example, drag this into the rows or into the columns, you are unable to add these to the rows or the columns. You just enable to add it to the value fields. By having in this mind, for example, why should I use the calculated field? Actually, you are able to do some, for example, in my field, I have the number of purchase and also I have the total purchase, total price here. The total price is the summation of the number of purchase, for example. Now I want to have the unit price. I can have the unit price. And I want this field be calculated based on the total price divided by number of purchase. And now I can add this, and I have the unit price for this table as well. For example, for all of these values. This divided 0 is because I did not have any value for the price total for the purchase number, so I get the divided. So this is how an calculated field is useful for you. It's useful whenever you want to use it as the values, as the calculated values, to show it in your pivot table. So you cannot add this value into your rows or the field or the column, and you are unable to add the timeline slicer as well as your slicer. If you press the insert slicer, you cannot see any unit price here, so you are just have the total price. So this is I guess this is a big limitation of the calculated fields. I need to have more flexibility in the calculation fields, but you are able to have some small calculations, so have some other calculated field and use those fields into your pivot table for sending the report, for example, having the unit price. And now, what if you want to delete some calculated field or modify that? For deleting or modifying the calculated fields, just go to the Analyze tab and then select the calculated field again. Use this arrow here to choose which calculated field you want to modify or delete. For example, the day 2, I want to delete this one, so just simply delete it. And for example, the unit price, you can modify this, just do some modification on that and then press the modify to update the calculated field too, and then press OK button. So thanks for watching this video. In the next video we want to talk about value field setting in the pivot table. We saw the number format as well as the functions here. We want to see the show value as calculations. So we have another option in the pivot table to have some calculated fields as well. But with this calculation will not generate a new field in the pivot table. It just do some calculation for current field of your pivot table. So until next video, goodbye. In order to watch more training videos, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Diako Ltd. And if you want to see our products, please visit our website, diako.co.uk.